I start off every video with the same saying. Y'all know how I go. Be thankful for your life today because you didn't have to have that. And that statement couldn't be any more true right now. Some of you may have already seen what's going on, but I feel like this video is necessary for me to make for, y'all my family. I consider y'all my audience. And life is about to be different for Tight Shirt Terry. So as you can probably tell, I'm not home. I'm in Malta right now. It's a beautiful city. And I've been here for over a week for Insta360 Legends Week. And I'm just gonna cut to it, man. I had a heart attack while I was here. I'm not looking for a pity party. I'm a matter-of-fact type of person. Whatever life throws my way, I'ma just deal with it. And this ain't no freaking different. I found out that I have coronary artery disease like my father. And I have a decision to make. I could either lay down to this and be sad about it, or I can figure out how the hell we gonna move forward with our chin up and our chest out. Now, I've had some heart scares before. A couple years ago, it was some pretty bad chest pain. But I have a friend who's a cardiologist, and I called them right then and there. He was like, yo, based off your age, your activity level, you eat healthy, you exercise regularly, you don't smoke, like, you probably had like a really bad case of indigestion, which can, it can feel like a heart attack when it's really bad. So we kind of chalked it up. Now, also, I live in the United States. I'm a creator. As some of y'all know, as an entrepreneur, how expensive insurance is to have to pay it yourself. So I always, do a risk tolerance type of thing. Do I want to pay $800 a month for self-employed insurance? Or do I keep that money and just work on my health and be as healthy as possible? Okay, that's the reason why after that incident, I didn't explore further care or investigation. So the first thing I want you to take from this video is a lot of people who watch this channel, per my analytics, are between like 25 to 44 years old. I'm 40, which means as you get older, your body starts to break down and talk to you. You have to listen to your body because you only get one vessel. Now, I'm saying those things to say, fast forward to now, Friday was the last day that we had an activity, all right? Now, everybody's going, I'm gonna get to all that in a minute. Friday was the last day that we had an activity. One of the activities earlier in the week was kayaking, and it ended up being way more intense than everybody imagined. And I'm sorry if I've, seem kind of spacey or like all over the place. Like, these medications I'm on, my body's not used to, and they're giving me like some serious bouts of nausea and all that other stuff. Neither here nor there. We went kayaking, and it ended up being the most intense thing. Some people almost didn't make it back. It wasn't Insta360's fault. It was the, agency who ran the tour, but neither here nor there. It was one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do. And right after that, when we got back to the hotel, I had a very similar type of pain that I had a couple years ago, but I kind of chalked it up in that moment because it only lasts like 2 minutes. Like, yo, maybe this is just your lungs are overexerted and maybe there's a spasm or something like that happened. Okay, whatever. I felt fine right after that. Well, the last day we were supposed to do a boat ride, and it was like a big fancy sailboat in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea for a boat party, partying and music and snorkeling and all of that stuff. And that morning I was packing my bag for the day, and that feeling came back, but it came back like 10 times worse. And it was the scariest feeling I've ever had in my life. It was so painful. It felt like somebody was sitting on my chest, couldn't catch my breath. It felt like literally somebody was just like wringing my chest out, and it had spread all the way up, all up and down my left side. Then I started sweating, and I started feeling short of breath. And we have a WhatsApp chat for our Insta360 trip, and I put in there, I think I'm having a heart attack. Now, this had already went on for 10 minutes. I shouldn't have waited that long, but I was just hoping that the feeling would go away. We called emergency. They showed up. Ambulance showed up, and they got me to the hospital. Now, this was not like a major, now that I know it, it wasn't like a major life-threatening heart attack unless it was left untreated. But a heart attack is a heart attack. There's no such thing as a good heart attack, right? And I get to the hospital, and I'm there for a couple days because they wouldn't release me. They had to run all of these tests and all of that stuff. And the long and short of it is just I had a small heart attack and I have coronary artery disease, which means I have the same thing my father had, where genetically my arteries in my heart are shrinking, right? And we all have a natural buildup of plaque and cholesterol as we get older. But because mine are so much smaller than yours are, then that same plaque buildup is dangerous for me. And there's no solution to this problem. I mean, there's things you could do to mitigate some of it, but the disease itself never goes away. And my father dealt with all this. He passed away at 55 from heart disease. I'm gonna pivot this video now that we know. Actually, let me say this first. Some of y'all are probably gonna say like, yo, if you had a heart attack, you were in the hospital, how are you sitting on a beautiful balcony at a resort? Well, yesterday, the cardiologist came in and was like, we've done all the care we can give you. You know, right now you're just on blood thinners and anticoagulants to avoid blood clots. We've done all the testing and we don't think it's safe for you to go home. We actually need to do a procedure on you called an angioplasty, which is basically them entering in through my arm, which they've already done, and it was so painful because they had to look at my heart. But now basically they have to put these little pieces of, I don't know, like aluminum or whatever on the tip of a small balloon, and they inflate the balloon inside your artery, and the balloon opens up with a piece of material that holds your artery open, and then in time your cardiac wall grows over it and it becomes part of your artery. And he said you don't have to do it, but if you get on that flight, something could happen in the middle of the ocean if you have another cardiac event, and then you could be staring down the barrel of a way bigger shotgun. Right, so he was like, we can allow you to go back to your hotel, providing you stay on all of these medication, which I have to go to another pharmacy here in a couple minutes to pick up one of these blood thinners. But you have to stay on all these medication. You have to basically just go back to the room and relax. Don't do nothing strenuous. And then come back Wednesday morning for this procedure. Now, this procedure is not, you know, it's pretty non-invasive. It's a pretty common procedure. Obviously, complications can always happen. Once I have this procedure, that should alleviate the major threat for now. So I have to go back, and hopefully after that happens, I'm cleared to go back home, because I've been away from my children now for 10 or 11 days, which I can't even imagine how worried and stuff they are. All right, now I need to pivot this video because I said that we need to be thankful for our lives because it's the only one you have. And I say this at the beginning of every video. I saw my life flash before my eyes. Even if I wasn't in danger in that moment of losing my life, I certainly felt like it. I saw my children flash before me. I saw everything that I love, and everything flashed before my eyes. And I would have never thought that this would be me. I would have never thought that I would be on a hotel room 5,000 miles away from home, gasping for air, on my knees in a hotel room. But you know what? I've learned to not question God about anything, and to also look for the blessings in everything. So let's be real. This could have been so much worse than what it was. Thankfully, I was in a country that is known for cardiovascular therapy and surgery and all that stuff. Thankfully, I was not taken out by this heart attack, and I was still able to pick up my phone and alert somebody that I needed help. Thankfully, we were able to get to the hospital in time for them to put me on immediate blood thinners and anti-clot medicine and all that stuff. Thankfully, this happened somewhere where I was near critical care? What if we would have gotten on that boat that I told you about and I had a heart attack in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea on a sailboat that's not even powered? What if I would have got on a flight that Saturday and had a heart attack at 35,000 feet in the air over the Atlantic Ocean, 10,000 miles away from the closest hospital? Thank God that that wasn't the case. That's all I could do right now is give God thanks that that wasn't the case and that he said that my life is not over, which means there's still purpose for me. It's not over. It's not over. And I'm not about to just lay down to this and feel sorry for myself and think that life is over with. No, this is just the next chapter that I have to learn how to deal with. And it's going to be my new life. So that means my fitness and everything, my health has to change. Like, there's going to be a lot of changes because I'm going to be on medication, a lot of medication for a long time. With that said, it is what it is. I have to deal with coronary artery disease. It is what it is. It doesn't go away. It is what it is. But I also, in this moment of gratitude, have to acknowledge Insta360. You know, I know over the years, over the years, Insta360 has got a lot of negative PR and press from some things that have happened with a few creators. And I don't want to dismiss those things, but all I can say is Insta360 has never been anything but honest and good with me. And Insta360 showed up for me in a way that I wouldn't have expected any company to show up. Now, I didn't have travel insurance when I came here, so I don't know if I've already said that, but this was a total oversight on my behalf. If you travel out the country, get travel insurance because you never know when this is going to be you. I would have never thought this would be me. I'm healthy. I work out. I eat clean. Like, what? Like a heart attack? What? I'm saying that to say, obviously, there's cost involved with all of this. Even when it came to the hospital, the procedures, the testing, the IVs, the medication, all of those things have costs. And we don't have insurance. Guess who's responsible for all of that? Imagine if this would have happened in the United States. This would have cost $150,000, probably more than that just for now. Insta360 was like, you know what, Terry? Okay, you don't have insurance, all right? But you know what? We're not going to stick you with all of these costs. So Insta360 volunteered to take care of all of my medical bills up until this point. Now, obviously, I have another procedure that's going to be expensive and all of that, but they took care of everything up to this point. I just have to take care of that. So I'm so thankful that they volunteered to help me out in that way because they did not have to. That was thousands of dollars. After I was discharged from the hospital, they could have easily thrown me or told me to go find a hotel on my own. And instead of doing that, they put me in the same beautiful resort that I've been in this entire time, which is very expensive, for another 4 or 5 days until I'm cleared to fly back home. They didn't have to do that. They did. On top of that, everybody from the Insta360 team, meaning staff, and everybody that was here as a creator, also, everybody's gone already. I'm the only one left here. However, 3 of them stayed back, and they didn't leave until yesterday, which means while I was in the hospital the entire time, especially Danyun, which if you're watching this, Danyun, like, I just thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough for being my guardian angel. Like this is the most selfless stuff I've ever seen. Danyun and Vicky and Adam and everybody else who stayed back, they all have their own lives to manage back at home where they're from, China, UK, etc. And they made the choice to stay back to make sure I was taken care of. Every single day I was in the hospital. This hospital, and I don't want to talk bad about this hospital, but it is what it is. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. There was blood splatters and dirt all over the floor and dirty napkins and stuff. And although they're known for their cardiology prowess, it doesn't change the fact that the hospital was nasty and the food was also nasty. And every single morning they made sure I had breakfast. Every day they made sure I had dinner. They made sure I had every single thing I want. Daniel literally stayed there from the start of visiting hours to the close of visiting hours, 4 days straight. Instead of being out here in beautiful Malta on the beaches and on the poolside, she chose to be in a hospital with me because she was like, if this was me and I was in a foreign country, 5,000 miles away from home with no family, no friends, no nothing, I would want somebody to be there for me. And she stayed and she advocated. She fought the nurses. She petitioned the nurses. She pushed her way around in a way I've never seen anybody do in the kindest way. And it was the most selfless thing I've ever seen anybody do because none of them had to stay back for me. And I just want to say thank you to Insta360 for pulling up for me and having my back in a way that y'all didn't have to. And y'all made the choice to. Thank y'all so much. Like, for real. Daniel and Vicky and Adam and the rest of the Insta360 creators who all flew down the hallway to my rescue. Thank y'all so much. Like, for real. I'm not trying to make this like overly dramatic, but thank y'all. All right, so hopefully after this procedure tomorrow, I'll be cleared to go back home. Like I said, I'm going to be on a ton of medications, aftercare, and stuff like that moving forward. But again, I have a choice to make. I can either lay down to this and feel pitiful and all of that stuff, or we could just be thankful for the life we still have. Because I didn't have to have it. Like that, I could have been dead on that floor in a hotel room. And I wasn't, and I'm still here, which means I still have a reason to be here. I still have purpose. I still have people who love me, who need me. And I'm not willing to let this become some story of failure. I'm just not. Like, this is just a roadblock. It's just a hurdle that has to be cleared. And I'm going to do it with chin up and chest out. And I thank y'all for all of y'all support, all of the text messages, the phone calls, the DMs. I've tried to respond to all of them, but it was overwhelming. Thank y'all for all of the support, all of the prayers, everybody who's interceding on my behalf. And, you know, I've gotten pictures from some of my friends and stuff, you know, where we're talking about me in like prayer meetings and stuff like that. Just thank y'all for everything, for real. From the bottom of my heart. And again, I don't want to make this overly dramatic and stuff, but this has been a very dramatic experience for me, as it would have been for anybody. And I'm just thankful to still be here. And for that, I must give God praise. Like, to God be the glory. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the pharmacy to get the rest of this medication now that it's available. I'm going to take a cab to go get it. And I love y'all. And the fight ain't over, you know what I'm saying? So until next time, peace and chicken grease, tight shirt, Terry Warfield. Hey, the shirt might get a little loose for a while because I can't really work out and all that stuff right now. But we'll be back, man. Much love. Peace.